Good morning, beloveds. It is Sunday, September 6th. We are in the month of expectancy. And my cat just got disgusted and walked out of the room. There's a couple of the cats that are like attracted to, she's in there talking to herself. And a couple of the cats are like, oh God, she's in here talking to herself. He is 15. He has every right to be disgusted with me in here talking to myself. He's a Maine Coon, so he's real sweet, real laid back. But just, it's just like, she's talking to herself again. Okay. So, September 6th, my mental house is at peace. And our Bible quote is, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, which is a psalm. It is 23:4. Okay. Fear is based on the supposition that evil is equal to good. The only thing that can adequately overcome fear is confidence and love. Love alone breaks down the barriers of fear through faith, discovers that there is an eternal heart. Emerson tells us that the universe remains to the heart unhurt. We must learn to turn from all the little petty things that fret us, from the obstructions that seem so insurmountable, from the problems that seem too great to be solved. Realizing that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, we should open our whole being to a love of everything, for everyone. For love to be real, it must be all-inclusive. Today, my mental house is at peace, and I enter into a permanent and conscious relationship with the divine presence. I shall permit only that which is loving, kind, and true to find entrance or exit through my consciousness. Realizing that I cannot ask for that which I refuse to give, I look upon all the earth as a dwelling place of spirit. I love all creation and enter into conscious union with people, things, and events. Realizing that the kingdom of heaven is not far off, but ever at hand, I seek to become a worthy inhabitant of this kingdom. Knowing that everyone is subject to the law of love, that everything is gradually being made perfect through that law. Okay, so my mental house is at peace. Yeah. There are days that my mental house is definitely not at peace. But hard to believe maybe for some people, but I am actually an introvert. And when my mental house is in chaos, what I need to do is to be by myself for a little while and recharge. Meaning, and I know that I'm not by myself because that gives me time to be quiet and listen to the still small voice within me. So, what do you need to do to get your mental house at peace? Do you need to be with people? Do you need to talk to people? Do you need to be by yourself? I know right now it is a struggle for extroverts. But the good thing is that we do have avenues, i.e., the internet. At this point, everybody has Zoom. Even Facebook has created a way to create rooms so that you can have more than one person in, you can talk to more than one person at a time. So there are options out there. All right. Fear is based on the supposition that that evil is equal to good. And that's true. About the fear part. I guess that's one of the things that bothered me about Christianity, is that they set the devil up as equal to God. And it's well, one, I don't believe in the devil. So when you go back and read through the Bible, it's not a co-equal power. Frequently it is an office, but not co-equal to God. Evil isn't a power, it's an action. It is a misuse of the law, because the law is neutral, even though the law trends towards life. When you ask the law for something, the law isn't going to judge whether it's good or evil. The law is going to give it to you. If you put enough emotional power behind it, there's the secret there. So evil isn't equal to good, and more to the power, evil isn't a power. Good is. The only thing that can adequately overcome fear is confidence and love. The only thing that can adequately overcome fear is confidence and love. Yeah, that bears repeating. Love alone breaks down the barriers of fear and through faith discovers that there is an eternal heart. Okay, so love alone breaks down the barriers of fear. What does that mean? When you love, you learn. When you learn about others, then you learn that there's nothing to fear. Or little to fear. If we're going to talk on grand cultural levels, when we learn about the other, then we discover that the other is not really an other. We discover that the other is simply a different version of us. There is no other. We're all made of the same stuff. And it's love that allows us to learn this. And so as we learn about each other, then we learn that there is nothing to fear. We all have the same eternal heart. Emerson tells us that the universe remains to the heart unhurt. And that's what Jesse's talking about when he talks about that place that nothing has ever been wrong. The universe has never been hurt in the heart, because that's that secret place of the Most High. That place where we meet God. That place where nothing has ever been wrong. And where we learn that there is no other. There is no them. We must learn to turn from all the little petty things that fret us, from the obstruction that seems so insurmountable, from the problems that seem too great to be solved. We must learn to turn from the petty things that fret us, the obstructions that seem insurmountable, the problems that seem too great to be solved. Okay, so right there, I think that's where he's talking about Jesus' turn the other cheek to get a new perspective. When we focus on the things that are bothering us, then they're big. But when we turn away from them and go, okay, this is not what I want. Let me turn and look at what I do want. That's how we get through these things. If we're constantly focused on the problem, we're never going to find the solution. So we don't want to focus on the problem, we want to focus on the solution. So we don't want to focus on the evil, we want to focus on the good. Realizing that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear. That's got to be a Bible quote because it's in quotes. So, realizing that there is no fear in love, but perfect love casteth out fear, we should open our whole being to a love of everything, of everyone. For love to be real, it must be all-inclusive. That was a big thing for Ernest. And it's a big thing for us in Science of Mind. Love must be all-inclusive. There is no one or thing that is outside of that that area of love. Our goal is to love everyone. Do we do it 100% of the time? No, we're human. But we remind ourselves and we go back and we do better. And so we work towards loving those who don't look like us, that don't think like us, that don't believe like us, that have different religions from us, because in the long run, we all carry the same eternal heart. All love must be all inclusive. Oh. Today, my mental house is at peace, and I enter into a permanent and conscious relationship with the divine presence. So when I enter into that permanent and conscious relationship with the divine presence, then my mental house can be at peace. It's like if I'm trying to live in any other, you can't have a part-time relationship with the divine. And your relationship is permanent. The question is how conscious of that relationship are you? The more conscious you have relationship, the more peace you will have, because you will recognize love is all there is, that everyone is made of that same love, and you will have less fear. I shall permit only that which is loving, kind, and true to find entrance or exit through my consciousness. So I'm only going to let in the good, and the only thing I'm letting out of me is the good, which means that my thoughts and my words and my deeds will match that good. And that is, I'm constantly working on that relationship. That is the one relationship. If I can make that relationship with the divine presence conscious and permanent, then all of the rest of my relationships are going to be better. They're going to be good, because I'm going to recognize within those relationships the divine presence in other people and beings. I'm going to see the divine and then forgive the mortal, the material, because it will be easier, because I'm recognizing the eternal heart within, and I'm going to be it's going to be easier for me to let go of the material nonsense. So maybe what I'm saying is that if we work on our divine relationship, our relationship with the divine presence, that is one secret to having good relationships with everyone else. Bears thinking about. All right. Realizing that I cannot ask for that which I refuse to give. That's the hook. Realizing I cannot ask for that which I refuse to give. Can you ask for love if you're not willing to give love? According to Ernest, probably not. I look upon all the earth as a dwelling place of the Spirit. I love all creation and enter into conscious union with people, things, and events. I love all creation, and I enter into conscious union. Conscious union. Oof. Realizing that the kingdom of heaven is not far off, but ever at hand. I seek to become a worthy inhabitant of this kingdom. So I seek to become a worthy inhabitant of this kingdom. I am already an inhabitant of the kingdom of heaven. Nobody, nothing, no action that I take, nothing I do can take that away from me. Except me. And even I can't take away my citizenship of the kingdom of heaven. But I can make it not seem like heaven around me. So I am seeking to become a worthy inhabitant. I am a citizen. I live in heaven. But am I acting like it? And if I'm not acting like it, what do I need to do? And that goes back to creating that conscious and permanent relationship with the divine presence. All right. Basic math. Knowing that everyone is subject to the law of love and that everything is gradually being made perfect through that law. Okay, so I seek to become a worthy inhabitant of this kingdom, knowing that everyone is subject to the law of love, that everything is gradually being made perfect through that law. That law, because he said it earlier, some in the year. Law trends towards life. Life trends to the spirit trends towards life. That's what spirit is. Spirit is life. Spirit is love. Spirit is good. So the law is trending towards good because it is the law of spirit. We don't have to wait for it to trend that way. We can take an active participation in creating the good around us. We can make ourselves worthy inhabitants of the kingdom of heaven because we are already citizens. And we cannot have our citizens revoked. We can make it seem like they have. So our mission, should we choose to accept it today, is to enter into a permanent and conscious relationship with the divine presence and become worthy inhabitants of heaven. Not a small mission. You are an inhabitant of heaven. And how do you become more worthy than you already are? Consciously seeking the relationship with the divine. All right. So if your mental house is at peace, you have done your job. It's Sunday morning, and in about an hour and 40 minutes, we will have another way to help you get that mental house in order. We will be back with you for the live stream. It's a new month, so it'll be a new thing with Jesse, Reverend Jesse. So I invite you to come and see that. And if you don't make the live stream with the music, do remember that it will be up on YouTube around sometime today. Although tomorrow is a holiday, so maybe tomorrow. Okay. I'm going to get the rest of my day going here. I'm going to encourage you to do something loving for yourself. Do something kind for yourself. Do something compassionate for yourself. Today, Ernest told us that we are citizens of heaven. We inhabit it. And he encouraged us to become more worthy by consciously pursuing the relationship with the divine. And reminding us that if we make that relationship better, then all of our relationships are going to be better. So, open your window to heaven. Allow that breath of heaven to come in, to fill you, to surround you, to remind you that you live in heaven now. If you are willing to open your mind and your heart and see it. And be willing to give what you ask for. All right, beloveds. We will be back with the live stream at 11 a.m. right here on Facebook Live. Reverend David will be on around 5, and I will be back at 9 a.m. I know tomorrow is a holiday, but I will be here. All right? So, do something that engages your mind and body today, and do what you need to do to make it a fantastic day. And know that you are a beloved child of God in whom Spirit is well pleased, always and forever. The eternal heart lives within you.